Black Dragon, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. You know, riding motorcycles and a motorcycle club is just an absolute blast. It's one of the coolest things in the world you can do if you love motorcycles. Riding with a group of people with a like-minded, insatiable passion for riding motorcycles in a family, brotherhood, sisterhood, is the coolest thing that you could ever do. And one of the most rewarding things. However, I get phone calls and letters and emails and text messages from you guys all the time for running into the nemesis of the motorcycle club world. And there is a way that you can survive in the motorcycle club world without having all of the troubles that you guys seem to have. And so, unfortunately, for most motorcycle clubs that are family clubs, riding clubs, or traditional clubs, as you might want to say, 99%ers, just the biggest thing that you're ever going to run into is trouble with a 1%er motorcycle club. And that trouble could be everything from getting you shut down, to somebody getting really hurt, to getting your patches taken, or to even having to pay some kind of an extortion fee. All of these things can happen to you when you're out there, most especially if you violate rules of protocol that everybody should know, but not everybody does. So I thought I would make a video called the top 10 things that can get you, your motorcycle club, in trouble with a dominant 1%er or outlaw motorcycle club. And I make this video in hopes that it will help some of you guys from getting into some of the scrapes and bruises that you get into. Now, I know. Some of you guys are tough and you don't care. You're going to do everything the way you want to do it. And I'm with that. I understand that. Don't run me over. And with that, I understand that. And so this video is not for you. You can turn it off. But for those of you who like to do this sort of thing with as little trouble as possible, here we go. So, number one, this is most especially for new clubs. The number one top thing I would say that gets you 99% motorcycle clubs in trouble with dominant motorcycle clubs is you fail to get a blessing when you start up. And a lot of that's because you just don't know MC protocol. You don't know a whole lot about what it is that you're trying to do. You don't know a whole lot about the culture that we ride upon. So the first time you really understand what's going on is when you're getting your butt pulled over on the side of the highway and somebody's trying to take your patches or trying to clown you in some kind of way. So I've also heard stuff like, well, there's no 1%ers in our area. So yeah, there are dominant motorcycle clubs. They claim whole states. So if you're going to start a motorcycle club up, probably the best thing you should do is figure out a way to get with the local coalition and figure out what you must do to come on the bike set properly. And that is going to save you a whole lot of trouble, my friends. Number two, 99% motorcycle clubs don't always have trouble out there. We really don't tend to beef because we're not trying to claim territory and stuff like that. But certain clubs will sometimes rear up, their chest pops out, and they want to have beef. And one of the biggest problems you can have is running into beef with an under 99% motorcycle club that happens to be a support club for a dominant. Now, I say these things from experience. I'm not telling you what I've heard. I'll tell you what I know, and a lot of times what I've lived through. Starting beef with a dominant support club is just like starting beef with that dominant club itself.
No bueno.
Or a coalition club. A club in a coalition is ultimately backed by a dominant club somewhere. So, if you're a 99%er, stay away from club beefs. But whatever you do, try your best not to get into a beef with a 1% motorcycle club support club. Does that make sense? I hope so. Also, the next one, number 3, is figuring that for some reason you don't have to follow the laws of a coalition. Listen, coalitions are backed by the dominant that allowed them to exist. So sometimes 99% motorcycle clubs feel like no one's going to tell me what to do.
No
Or
bueno.
the coalition doesn't have the backing to tell me what to do. Coalition clubs are backed. Coalitions are backed. Sometimes it's all the dominants in the area give that coalition the power to operate. Sometimes it's just one dominant. But they absolutely have the backing and the power to make what they say come true. So here's an example. You might go into an area that says, well, you can't throw a party for the first year that you're on the set. And you decide, well, who the hell are they? I'll throw a party if I want to. Well, now you're going to have an issue. And that issue might not be with that coalition, but rather with the dominant club that allowed that coalition to stand. So that's way number 3. Now, way number 4 is kind of interesting. Messing with the same woman that a 1%er is messing with. It's kind of interesting. I've seen it 1,000 times. 2 guys are struggling for the attention of one girl. Now, this is a personal thing, but you got to understand that people are trying to win. It's the dominant male theory, and you're going to bring all the tools to your game. And a lot of times, that tool you'll bring, if you're in a club and that guy's in the club, I see them do it all the time. They bring their club in, and now your club is dealing with that club over what really should be a situation between you and that person. I've seen it happen with properties. I've seen it happen with girls. I've had this thing hold me up from starting a chapter in an area for almost 4 damn years, just because these 2 guys were battling over a girl and it spilled onto us, the club. So think about that. If you know that that's an issue, think about how to solve it before you get into it, because it will absolutely cause you trouble and heartache. I often tell people, when you go into 1%er clubhouses, leave their properties the hell alone. I've made a video that tells how you can, the proper way to try to deal with that situation, but leave their girls the hell alone. It's nothing but trouble and heartache. But it does happen, so I thought I'd mention it. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is kind of interesting. When your motorcycle club grows too fast or gets too big in an area, you can see the dominant show up and start regulating. It's like this. Competition is fierce out here. And nobody wants to see you amass a 500-member motorcycle club in their area. They want to know why, what's going on. It's always a threat. It's always an issue. It's always a potential liability, a potential threat. So when you come to an area brand new, keep a low profile. Remember, we went into this one area, brand new club. They let us in, no problem. They said, hey, just keep a low profile for a while until we get to know you. Next thing you know, the guys are on the news, toys for tots, everything they could do, being seen. And we had an issue. There's also jealousy out there. So keep that in mind. When you start growing your club, take your time. Another thing I see you guys like to do is recruit off the set. And that runs into problems too when you're trying to grow your club. Some of you guys don't have etiquette, like asking people in other clubs to join your club and stuff like that. These are etiquette violations. These are no-nos. So think about that. I've done that and paid a terrible price for it. So I try to tell you guys so you don't have to pay the same price. So along with growing too fast in an area, I have to also add, let's see. Oh yeah, getting too much swagger in your chest too soon. A lot of times, hey, everything's going great, the biker club is looking great, and you guys start swaggering, puffing your chest out. I'm not backing down. This kind of thing. Attitude goes a long way in everything you're doing. If you're not about that life, don't portray that you are. You start that swagger too hard, all of a sudden you start wearing F the world patches and throwing your middle finger up every time you're in a picture and wearing these kinds of symbols that are really not symbols that are of the level of the club that you're in. And so you'll catch the attention. Sometimes the attention you don't want to catch. And when you catch that attention, now you're dealing with issues that you don't want to deal with. So I always say, especially if you're a new club in town, check that swagger, check that growth, check that being too chest puffy too soon. You know, chest puffing is, you know, if you puff your chest out and my grandma used to call it going for bad. If you've got that chest poked out and you're going for bad, somebody's going to call your whole card. Eventually, you're going to have to prove that you're as bad as you say you want to be. Another thing that I've seen, number 7, is when your club gets too successful, especially financially. You might get a visit, and that visit might not be too nice. That visit might be a handout. A lot of that comes with not being able to keep your own club's business inside the club. Oh, we buy a brand new motorcycle for all our members every year. Stuff like that. You got this big old clubhouse. It's full of people coming and going. Everybody's having a great time. You got that swagger, and you bring unwanted eyes to you. So a lot of this is about just being cool all the time. Being cool. Not trying to be more than what you are, because you might have to prove it. So, man, having that club that's very successful and everybody's over there at your clubhouse and you're doing big things, bring those eyeballs right on you, and you might get a visit. Something to think about. I've seen it happen a whole bunch of times. Number 8, having an actual fist fight with a 1%er and whooping his ass. A lot of you guys really think once you get that swagger and you're getting really tough, you got this guy in your clubhouse and he does something that you don't like maybe he says hello to one of your girls or something. And instead of getting your sergeant at arms to get on the phone with his sergeant at arms and quell something down before it ever gets started, you want to take that guy on mano-a-mano. Now, you wouldn't have done that if his whole club was there, but he's there by himself. It's going to be you against him. A lot of times I've seen this happen when one of your brothers might go and join one of their clubs and you think you're still on the same level. Let me tell you something. Dominant clubs don't stay dominant by taking ass whoopings. So when you get in the fist fight with that guy and you whoop him, you can damn well better believe his whole club is coming. That's just the name of the game. Now, I have seen it where a dominant club has let two guys go at it. But that'll be something that goes through their sergeant at arms and your sergeant at arms, and it would be approved, and it'll happen like that. Don't you even believe that that's going to happen in your clubhouse, and everything's going to be fine tomorrow morning. I've seen it happen, but that's what people do. Number 9, keep your club business in your club, and don't take it over to Big Brother for him to handle. I've seen this happen 1,000 times. So you're pissed off at your president, you don't like your bylaws, so you think you're going to go tell the dominant, and the dominant will fix it. I promise you, when you bring those guys inside your clubhouse, inside your club politics, inside your club business, you're not going to like the outcome. You're not going to like what they come up with for an answer. And you know why? Because it's not in their best interest for you to be a great club anyway. So a lot of times they're just looking for that weakness so that they can come in and show you how stupid you are. You'll look around, you'll have that support patch on your ass before you know it, or your club broken up, or the rules they come up with you don't like. The idea that club business stays in the club is an important idea, and you should practice that, or you might be getting a visit you don't want to have. And number 10, and I don't even know why I have to tell you guys this, but walls have ears. And number 10 is bad-mouthing a 1%er motorcycle club when you're out on the set. Like you think they don't have friends or something? That girl sitting over there that you didn't know was part of their club, but she was just minding her own business while you were just running off at the mouth at the bar. These are simple, small things that you guys do that get you that visit. So keep your mouth shut about other people's motorcycle clubs, especially dominant clubs. I have seen this with my own 2 eyes. Somebody saying something negative about a 1%er club, and you might not hear from that club until like you're going up to a council meeting to have something and they say, oh, you're the guys that said such and such about us. We're getting ready to tax your ass. And that happens. So, this is a fun job. It's a fun thing to do. We have a blast doing this. But there are some rules you should follow to keep you out of the shit. Keep your motorcycle club business in your club. Keep yourself following the rules of the coalition. Keep your business to yourself. Keep your mouth on your own business. And ride and have fun. Don't try to swagger when really you're not about that life. Take those FU patches off your vest, bro. That stuff has a meaning that you probably can't even comprehend. Whoa, did I actually bottom out? Can't even ride a motorcycle anymore, I'm getting old. Well, that's my 2 cents. Love to hear your comments in the comments section below. Be sure to check us out, Black Dragon Biker TV on YouTube, Instagram TV, and here, of course, on Facebook. Also, catch my podcast, The Dragon's Lair, Motorcycle Chaos, any place you get a podcast, like Spotify, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. We're on all those places, Podcaster, Podbeam, and more. BikerLiberty.com is our online motorcycle magazine bringing you news about the motorcycle club world. During this global pandemic and all these things that are happening, neighborhoods being burned down, life is getting tough for us. But we will rebound as a country, and we will come out on the other side. And we'll still have these issues to deal with as well. I wish you all peace, happiness, and I wish you all safety going through this crisis that our country's going through. Hopefully we all come out on the other side as biker brothers, riding, loving, living like we always have. Until I see you again, please be careful. Please take care of yourself and tell your loved ones, I love you, every time you leave them. Check us out, blackdragonsgear.com. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny. We'll see you in a minute when we break out. The first bug out bag we're going to be looking at is...
Well, let's do yours first.
Yeah, how about you first?